So today, the topic of our business clinic is finding more clients through networking. So what we will learn today is to set up an effective networking strategy. I am not that much going to focus on why you should do networking or how to start networking, but I'm really going to focus on that more technical aspect of how to set up your networking strategy. So about me, my name is Anne. I'm a business coach specialized in book coaches and publishing professionals. I come in with 10 plus years of business consulting experience, both in the public and private sector. And I organize every Thursday of the month free business clinic for book coaches. So like I said, I'm not going to spend that much time on it, but I do think it's important that we remind ourselves the importance of networking. First, it's to build authority. It helps other people to see that you really are the one in your area. To attract ideal clients, we don't always remind ourselves that through networking, you can really target the clients you want to work with. And of course, three, stay top of mind. If you've had, for example, previous clients, I see a lot of book coaching, they are losing the writer who writes their second or third book, just simply because they don't stay top of mind. And before you know it, another book coach is there, and that's it. So before you start, there are 4 key steps, or rather 4 key questions that you have to ask yourself. The first one is who? Who exactly is it that you're going to target? If you've been following me for a while, you know that for me, I'm very into the niche. So I don't want to hear an answer of, I want to write with everyone who wants to write a book. You will see that in the next couple of questions, if you come in with that who or that ideal client, it will be very difficult for you to set up really a networking strategy that is not time consuming and not takes all of your energy. So who, that can be, for example, well, Hannah, you do memoir. You want to target writers who write their memoir. Maybe you want to target people who have never written before or people who have already done their memoir before. It's really asking yourself that question, how niche can I go? How precise can I be in the person I want to target? Secondly is how. How are you going to approach that person? So the number 1 rule in networking is to never go out there and say, hi, I see you want to write a book. This is my pricing. Let's start working. It might work in some cases, but in my experience, I've seen that it very, very, very rarely works. So one of the first steps you're going to do to have that contact is to have your one resource that will apply one action. So that can be, for example, a lead magnet. It can be, in my case, for example, the business clinic. When I approach a book coach, I will, before asking anything, I will be thinking about that value. And that value comes from me through the business clinic, for example. So they get the business clinic, and that could be in your case as well, that you have a writer's hour every month. You organize a writer's hour. So you approach your writers. I saw you have a little bit of difficulties with writer's block. Come to the writer's clinic. We can talk about it. It is without obligation. It gives a lot of value. And it also reassures the person that you are approachable. Third, where. So this is linked with your who. Where are you going to target your ideal lead? Now, the more precise you are on your who, the more easier it will be for your where. If, for example, you are someone who would like to work with doctors who want to write a thriller, where a doctor's conference, or you are a romance coach, you can think about very specific groups. We talked about it last week at Best Meeting. On Reddit, for example, there's a romanticy subreddit. So very thinking about that where as well. Then the final one is what for. Oh, sorry, someone wants to join. I need to go back to mine. Okay, let me go back. And so, yes, the fourth one is the what for. So the what for, this is linked to your customer cycle. I see that is one of the biggest mistakes that people will make when they reach out to people. It's like, oh, I have this lead, perfect lead. I really want to work with that person. But then it like falls off the wagon, because what is my next step? So my first step is I invite my writer to come to my writer's hour. Okay, what is the next step? Where do you want to take your writer after that? And people need really that hand holding. You really need to be very clear. Okay, this is exactly what I want with my person. So the who, the how, the where, the what for. These are the 4 questions you really need to have an answer. Because if you have one of those 4 who doesn't fit or who is not clear in your mind, that is where networking will become very energy consuming and time consuming, because you will go in every direction, in every sense, and there's no clear process. And without a clear process, well, that's the guarantee way of doing something that is not necessarily going to work for your business. Of course, you don't need to have this perfectly clear from day one. It will change. You will make mistakes through networking and telling yourself, oh, okay, actually, I should, for example, the how, you reaching out with a lead magnet and you see that no one fits or corresponds to that lead magnet, then it is a way of you saying, okay, I need to probably change my lead magnet. I need to find something else that will fit my perfect audience and that will make them take that first step, come into my universe. Once we have the 4 key steps, next one. This is the more theoretical part, in the sense of it's very, this is how you have to be very organized. So organizing your network for maximum impact, for me, it's always networking is great and is very valuable, but you have to be very precise and be very clear about it, that it doesn't take all of your time, all of your energy, and that you don't have any results. It's not just about, oh, I am going to reach out to someone. It is, I am going to reach out with the answer to my 4 questions, and then I know where I'm taking that person and how I take that person to the next step. So the way I do it is that when I approach someone, in function of that first reply, when the person replies, I will split the person in 3 groups. So let's give an example. You are reaching out to a fiction writer. Fiction writer comes back to you and say, oh, yes, this is great. This is exactly what I was looking for. I'm really, really very interested in your services. Group A, highly valuable. You know that this is a person who's interested and who is ready to invest. Group B, that's the person that comes in and that said, oh, I didn't know book coaches existed. It's very nice. I'm really interested to learn more. I'm not sure I'm ready to start with my book this year because I have a lot of time commitments. So you hear already that in this message, the writer has a different mindset. They're very interested in hearing about a book coach and how it works, but they already tell you as well that they have strict time commitments. This doesn't mean that it's someone you have to put aside right away. It can be that that person will be really ready in 6 months. So at this point, it is a potentially valuable person that you need to stay in contact with. And then we have the group C, the low value. This is the person that says, oh, that's great to hear that you do book coaching. Interesting. Depending on the profile, because this is always a bit the most difficult group to identify, because I've seen some people are just very shy. They are not very comfortable with networking. Others, they are just really not interested in what you do. But you can still keep in touch every 6 months, for example, and not before you throw it. But this is really focused on the profile. If this is, for example, your ideal writer, if you coach romance and this is someone who wants to write a thriller, it's already not someone you should have approached. But if you have a hesitation, you can put it in there. But be very careful with this group, because this is the group that can really take the most of your energy. You really want to focus on your group A and your group B. So we have the lead that came in. You have classified that lead in group A, B, and C. What are we doing now? So here, in function of your group, you will decide of your reaction. Group A, if the person tells you, I want to learn more, the first thing you do is like, do you want us to go on a strategy session or a free introduction call, however you call it, just to have a feel of how it goes with the writer. It might be too early that the person says, oh, no, I'm not ready yet. But then at least you know, okay, this is actually not a group A, this is a group B person. Talking about the group B person. So this is the person that might be interested in a couple of months down the road. So here it's great when you have, for example, that writer's hour, because every month you can just put the person on your newsletter, say, hey, I'm organizing these writers clinics, join if you want, or if you want to have a bit of a more personal approach, you can also send the invitation and say, hey, I'm doing this workshop. Do you want to join? And then we have the group C. So again, this is the one that can be the most time consuming, and you have to be very, very clear why that person is in your group C. So here it can be occasional updates. I talked about the fact that you can put in here writers have an interest in book coaching, but they you don't really know what to do. But this can also be people with who you want to build up a relationship as a partner. It can be a podcast host, for example, and you would like to go on the podcast of that person. So this is where you can do occasional updates, keep in touch, so that when that person needs a guest, they might say, oh, this is the person I want to get in contact with. So once you have your strategy, well, that is it. You're just going to follow. And in function of your group A, group B, group C, you are going to have your specific strategy. And it should make it more clear and more of a less energy consuming than if you don't have that strategy in place. In conclusion, start small. So that is always something that some people get very excited in the networking, but start small. You can do one person per workday. I feel that always works well in the beginning, and then little by little, you just build up. Stay consistent. It's like social media. It's like your website. It's like everything you do. You have to stay consistent and do it regularly. Someone that you contact in January and who is in your group A and who is very motivated, you have to follow up. You cannot wait until December and then ask that person, so are you ready to sign up? Because 12 months have passed by. In those 12 months, so much can happen and you might have lost your client. And then watch your network grow. I've seen that once you start, little by little, you see the word is very small and you will get more and more people in your network. And with it, word of mouth, people who refer you, new clients you've never heard about. And with it, of course, you're growing your business. So thank you very much for your attention. That was the presentation of today. Any questions, any feedback? Sorry, I've lost my voice. So, hi, Christine.
Hello, sorry, I was a bit late. I'll have to go back and watch the beginning.
Oh,
can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Wait. Okay.
Oh.
We can hear each other.
Yeah.
We can talk amongst ourselves.
Can type questions. Okay.
I look so tired. I am tired.
Okay, I'm back. Don't tell me you guys didn't hear anything I said.
No, we heard your talk.
Okay, I was like, I'll do it. Sorry.
Yeah, it was just the last 30 seconds, that's all.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi, Christine.
Hi, I apologize for being late. I will go back and watch the beginning. This is timely for me because I've realized actually I quite like connecting in person after resisting it for a really long time. And I live rurally, so it's always been like if I go to meet someone or catch up with someone in person, it takes a lot of my day, and so I've tended not to do that. But I've changed things up just in the last couple of weeks to work one day in the city so that I can just try and make a coffee date and a lunch date on those days and just see more people.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, and it's great at this point because I see that so many people, they want to go to have that physical interaction again. Feel like with COVID, we all got this an idea, oh, now you can do everything online. But I've seen people really want to have that physical interaction. They want to see humans again. So it's a perfect idea to do it right now. You can always have like you could start up a writings group or something like that. I don't know if it's going to be in a co-working space. But that could be an idea that you're like once a week, you just like, oh, I have office hours. Come join me at lunch.
That's really interesting because the day I need to go, I do have my online writing group from 9 till 11. So it is a little bit like I have to get to the city and get to my co-working space by 9 a.m., which is, potentially going to be challenging, but it works for other reasons to do it that day. But yeah, I hadn't thought about inviting people to come join me. That's a cool idea. Thank you.
Yeah. especially if you're like in a co-working space with entrepreneurs. I can't remember what genre are you doing?
Non-fiction
No,
experts and thought leaders. Yeah.
but perfect. You know, you just like, we do a lunch. I mean, you don't even have to do it every week. You do it once a month or something like this, but it makes it worth your while.
Yeah, cool.
Or you could just tell people you're in town for lunch and see, like a little women in business, solo business owner lunch together. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like tomorrow, I'm going to be running my writers group from a really nice cafe where people do go and work from 9 to 11. So there's no reason I couldn't say this is where I'll be running the group this week. If you're around, come and hang out. Right? That's actually quite cool.
Yeah.
So thank you.
No, no worries, no worries. I think it's a very good idea.
Mm.
Any other questions, concerns? I mean, we can talk about how to reach out to people or anything like this on this.
I just, okay, here's a question. I was given the job of looking after a LinkedIn group. So I own, which is not the right word, but I manage a LinkedIn group of, it's about 900 women. It started off as Australian women in business. And then the owners or the managers went on to other things. And so I've had it for years, and LinkedIn groups are so inactive. There's no function in LinkedIn to make a LinkedIn group interesting or active. People put things in there, but nobody responds. But I got very close to just closing it down. But I thought, I've changed the name I changed it to Smart Women Publishing. Then I changed it to Women Books Business. So it's clear it's for business women who want to write books. Not many people have left, very few people left, but it's just inactive. So actually I was just making notes as you were talking that what I could do is, I mean, I can go in and I can send members a private message over, probably not all in one day. It would have to be manually, individually, private message, but maybe just a little, and keep it really short, maybe just a little private message to either invite them to a workshop, just put on a really simple workshop about the idea of short books, long impact, which I've kind of been running with this year. But I think that's the only way I can get any kind of life out of that group.
The only time I heard about a LinkedIn group that was very, very active, it was not with a book coach, but it was like a very private LinkedIn group, and people went there because LinkedIn was like their prime social media, and it was really to exchange information on very specific topics. But it's the only time I've heard. I've had a LinkedIn group as well. I just cancel it because it's like company page. I don't really know what's the purpose of it.
Yeah.
You can with it. But indeed, before you close or do anything with the group, like I think it's a good idea. You go on the profile of the people, you see, do they fit your audience, and then you can connect with them on a personal basis. 900 is going to be some work, huh, Beth?
Sorry?
900 is going to be some work.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it'll be obvious. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people in there that I already know, so they're already connected in other ways. But there's a lot of people who've joined from who are, they're in the industry rather than potential clients. So, but it's going to take time. I was actually thinking of paying somebody just to do it. I'd write just a really simple little piece of content or invitation or something. The other thing I thought I could do is just invite them to move from the group to my LinkedIn newsletter.
Yeah. I was going to suggest that as well. You maybe to get them to another platform or, like you say, a newsletter. You could also just say, I'm setting up this private LinkedIn group. From the moment, I feel like when you put in some exclusivity, that might interest people and say, hey, if you want to write a book, you can transfer to this LinkedIn group. The difficulty and the danger I see here is to be very careful that you don't start having a free coaching group of you transfer people to a private group and it becomes a Facebook group. Facebook groups, it's a bit the similar system. I feel like lots of people go in those Facebook groups unless they have to pay to get the free information. So before anything else, I think it's probably worth the while thinking, why do you exactly want to get in contact with the woman of this group? Is it really worth your while? Because even if you pay someone for it, it's going to cost you money. So it's going to cost you money and energy.
Yeah. It's really, I guess the purpose would be to find people within the group who generally are interested in maybe writing a book. So
yeah.
That's all.
I'm not sure because I haven't been on LinkedIn Group for a while, but can you send a general message to everyone of saying like I'm
No,
oh, okay.
you used to be able to, but
Yeah.
no.
Because otherwise it could also be like, I'm going to close the group. So if you're interested, you can go, and then, it takes you 5 minutes to send the message.
No, they don't have that function anymore, which it just doesn't, why do you have, I don't know why they have groups, but I think it started when it was possible to talk to everybody at once.
Yeah. I think a LinkedIn group is the one mystery of LinkedIn. No one knows why it's. Okay, well, I hope this has given you.
Thank you for that.
Just keep us updated.
You're probably in there somewhere.
Yeah, I do you think? No, I don't think so. I'm not in Australia, so. Any other questions or concerns, or you just want to talk about your business wins? Maybe you have wins to share.
Yeah, I missed the beginning, Anne, but I would love some tips on just reaching out to people to try and connect. Like, do you have any good strategies for how to do that? Or
for me, the first thing is to keep it simple. Like, don't overcomplicate things. And especially, are you used to do networking or not at all? Like, not
comfortable.
Not comfortable. Okay. So then the one thing to get very comfortable with is that you will make mistakes. There will be people that will be not happy that you reach out. There will be people that you will get nasty messages. Be prepared for that. The second one is to keep it very simple. So as I said in the presentation, for me, there's like 4 key things you have to keep in mind. First is like, who do you want to target? What do you want to target them with? What is your cycle that comes afterwards? And then where are you going to target them? So can you remember what you do? Fiction or non-fiction?
No, non-fiction coaches and experts.
Coaches and experts. Yeah. So who here you can think, okay, which exactly is the expert that I want to work with? Because expert is a big word. Who is exactly the one expert you want to talk with? And then secondly, what is that expert needing from you? So one of the rules in networking is really that the first exchanges, don't ask anything. You just give some information. It can be a blog article or an invitation to a workshop. What I generally do is that I will go on the profile or I will do some research on the internet and see, okay, this person, for example, Christian book coaches, for example. For me, I have a podcast episode with a Christian book coach. So I know that is one of those things they will be very interested in. And so that is the first step. I will send it to them. And then I see the reaction. Some will say, oh my God, this is great. I love that, blah, 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 blah. And then, okay, there's some interest and we can build a relationship. Although when they send me an emoji, then I'm like, okay, thumbs up, yay. I hate the thumbs up.
I'm told that's aggressive for a certain generation, the thumbs up, but anyway.
So then I'm like, okay, there's no need to invest more energy in this. If I send you a message and you just send me thumbs up, no energy. So then you already know that first step. And then it's that there becomes complicated because it's complicated. That's the whole moment that you can really start losing your time and your energy, because you have to, of course, you want to stay in contact with that person and build up the trust, but you also want to make sure that it's worth your while. If you have to send 20 messages like all the time and nothing comes out of it, that's a loss of time. And you cannot, there's no absolute guarantee. I cannot give you a formula. I've been doing this for 10 years. I can still not give you a formula. People, they are in my group C, and I'm like, they will never sign up. And then they said, yeah, and I'm ready to sign up for you tomorrow. So you never know. But it is being very attentive to what they say. So I gave you the example of the thumbs up. That's a very passive aggressive thing of like, please don't contact me. Okay, fine. Let down. If people tell you as well, like, I know some business coaches out there say, even if the person says no, continue. If it's a no, it's a no. You just back off. The easiest, of course, is the absolute yes of like, I want to really work with you. And then you have that middle group, which I find the most difficult one with is like they ask you questions, follow-up questions, and you have to like find that balance between not doing your free coaching, but still continue with the person that could be interested in your coaching. And so there is for you to put in a rule. Like for me, if I had 10 exchanges with the person, then and there's nothing that comes out of it, then I'm like, okay, that's it. Like, I'm not going to go further down the road. But you can also decide that it's less for you or more. It's how comfortable you are with things, and how comfortable you are with exchanges. If you have not lots of time, 10 is too much for you. But even like for me, I do the 10. It's very exceptional that I will go to the 10. Normally I finish around 2, 3. I start to see, okay, with this person it's going to work, with this person it's not going to work. And of course, I'm not just talking about lead. It can also be partnership or podcast or that kind of thing. For me, my purpose right from the start is to also be very clear, okay, why I'm contacting that person. Because I really want to be sure that I am the person who can help that person as much as possible. Bye,
Okay,
guys.
guys. See ya.
No worries. So, yeah, I hope that helped a little bit. I feel like it's
no, that's great.
complicated.
I hope I didn't make you repeat too much of what's in the presentation, because I can watch that later. But yeah, I think that's where your coaching call is genius, right? Because you can, if you get too many messages back, you can say, "Come to my coaching call."
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. That for me, like since I put back the business clinics, that has been so useful, because the brain pickers they drop off immediately. Like I will be, I don't want to use the word aggressive, but I see when from the moment I have a hesitation, I will very quickly say, "Hey, I have my business clinic. If you have a question, come to the business clinic." So it very it gives me then a good direction of, okay, is this person really serious in getting to know me, and does it make worthwhile for me to build up that trust, or is it just a brain picker?
Yeah, cool.
So, yeah.
Thanks.
No worries. I hope it helps. Anyone else who wants to share or say? Or
what about for someone who is an introvert and hates being on calls like this and hates networking in person, but knows I need to do that? What do you suggest for someone like me that just likes to work in your own little office, away from everybody, editing and talk and not having to talk to people? How do I go about networking?
Well, you will be very surprised with it, but I'm exactly the same like you. I always say that I'm a trained extrovert.
Okay.
You are in a business where writers, it's very sensitive for them, even if it's nonfiction. You know, your yoga teacher or your florist or anything like that, you can take out a little bit of emotion and say, okay, networking is not really for me, and it's okay. But if you are as a book coach, I feel like it's so personal, especially like fiction. I feel when I talk with fiction writers, it's like their life work. So that's the first thing I would keep in mind, telling yourself, okay, you are approaching people, even if you don't like it, but you're approaching people because you want to work with them on their life work. The second thing, you already do networking on a daily basis. Like if you want to go to the hairdresser, you're not going to be on Google and then try to do it yourself. You ask your neighbor, you ask, I don't know, your best friend, you ask people. So you're already doing networking. I think it's sometimes that we get very overwhelmed by the idea, oh, we put a stamp networking on it, and then suddenly we have to be very strict and very strategic about it, while it's already something that you do on a daily basis. And the third tip I would have for you is to keep it very, very simple. If you're not comfortable with it, start reaching out with the people that are that you know already very warmed up to you, like family, friends, colleagues, like people who are on the call. You can exercise with them. It's like to really build up a little bit your confidence, because I think that's the thing now, the building of the confidence. If you've never done it and you're really not comfortable with it, make a list with people that you know, okay, those people, they already know me, they're warmed up to me. I can start with that. And then little by little, I can reach out to the people I don't know. The thing to keep in mind is that networking on itself is not an obligation. If you tell yourself, okay, I don't want to do any networking, I don't want to reach out to anyone, you can go like have a blog or something like that. It's just going to take a little bit more time. And you might have people that come into your cycle that you say, actually, I don't want to work with them. But just because you put yourself in another position where you're more the receiver than the outgoer, it might cause that kind of issues. But I know it can sound very, very tricky, but again, start very simple, build up your little confidence little by little. And then before you know it, you will be a big like really honestly, me, I had for me it was very, very difficult to network and to reach out. So it makes people always laugh and they say, but no, you're the extrovert. I'm like, no, I'm not an extrovert. I really had to push out because it's having those little successes as well. Like when you reach out and you have that first person who signs up and it's purely to networking. After that, it's like the box open and you're like, yes, I have to really go for it and they will succeed.
Cool, thank you.
Or you can keep you accountable, Jan. Next month you come back. How many people did you reach out to?
Everyone's
Go ahead.
asking the good questions that I would ask, to be honest.
Oh, no.
I mean, my networking so far has been mostly blogging and trying to build an email list. I haven't done a lot of like just cold reaching out to people. I've had a hard time, and honestly, the clients that I've had are mostly through referrals. Somebody found me through a Facebook group recently. That was actually my most recent win, was that I got a new client in the last week and a half.
Yay, that's a win.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so I think I'm just my challenge is finding people and figuring out where to find people and getting more engagement, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the
my
first thing I
everything.
wanted to say is that referral is such a great thing. Lots of people underestimate it, but it's really a great thing in your business. And it actually is one of the parts of networking. So networking for me is like the direct outreach, then the referral, and then there's a third one that slipped my mind. We'll come back later. But referral, the thing that you could do here is to put in place maybe a strategy. Like, okay, I know this person referred to me, so you can keep on touch regularly with that person. Like every, 3 to 6 months, you can reach out to that person and say, hey, how are you? Just to keep top on mind. You don't need to always say, if you know someone, refer me. But offering is also something like, I don't know if the person, you can give a free coaching call or something like this. But just show them that you appreciate that they refer you and keep it as a strategy. Because if the person refers you once, chances are very high they will refer you a second or third time. Then in general, for finding clients, what do you find the most complicated problem with finding your clients?
I mean, just I've been mostly focused on I don't know what the terminology is called. I haven't done the direct outreach networking. I've done a lot of just like creating content and posting on social media and trying to get people to come to me, and fighting the whole algorithm of like, does anybody see what I do?
Well,
not
welcome
knowing.
to the club. Huh? Welcome to the club. I think every single person has that issue now with social media at the moment.
Yes.
You're only on social media, or there's also other?
I have I do LinkedIn, I do Facebook, and I do Instagram, and I'm trying to build an email list. I have a lead magnet that I've been trying to push out.
Is there one of those? Yeah, sorry. So you have a blog as well?
Yes,
no.
yes.
Because I'm thinking that's a lot of marketing channels. Have you thought of like focusing on one or two maybe out of the mix?
Yeah, I started with just the Facebook, and then I started to post more like on LinkedIn and got more. I think I got more like feedback there. I don't get a lot on Facebook. Mostly from Facebook, I get people that know me, not anybody new. The only reason I got somebody on Facebook was because I posted in a writers group to promote my services, and which those are always interesting because I think I didn't even know LinkedIn had groups. But Facebook.
Don't worry. You're not missing anything. You're not missing anything.
But the Facebook groups, they're all pretty strict about promoting services too. So those can be tricky to navigate. I try to go to ones where it's like, oh, they have like a weekly promotion day and things like that. I could try to post, but then of course they just get flooded with people promoting services. So
yeah, I'm no longer on Facebook, but that's indeed one of the things I remember. So in that case, if you see that Facebook is not that useful for you, maybe you can put aside Facebook a little, because the thing is, if you have all those channels, I'm thinking you just simply don't have the time for the networking. So it's also finding, first of all, like that time for the networking. The second one is, I think it's always great if you publish out things, but that networking is just non-negotiable in the business that we are in. Like I feel social media or blogs, posts or anything like that, it's like the add-on. Once a person is into your universe and they want to learn more, they can learn more about you, but it's that first contact. Do you have a very precise profile on who you want to target?
I'd like to target neurodiverse writers, like mad writers, people who identify as mad, writers in the mental health space. I also do nonfiction, but for the most part, I've been coaching memoir writers, so that's my preference.
Oh, no, that's a great one. So it's memoir for neurodiverse writers then. Okay, so that should probably already limit the groups you can target. Like not LinkedIn, but like associations. I would not necessarily think about social media ones, but like, for example, neurodiverse writers, I guess there must be societies or associations or anything like that target neurodiverse people. So it could be a good idea for you to go into those groups, because nowadays a lot of people are just, I have to be on social media, so they all go on social media. And Christine said it very well, is taking the very good first step of like going into person. People want to see in person, especially neurodiverse people. I feel like they really need that extra support. So it could be a good idea to go in those conferences, look into maybe a bit public speaking around that space. So that would be, and then the newsletter, is that like where you want everybody to come together?
Ideally, I mean, it's pretty small subscriber list right now.
Yeah, but you have to start somewhere, right? If you think that, even the ones who have 1 million on their newsletter, they started from 1, so you have to start somewhere. But your idea is really, I reach out to someone on LinkedIn, I reach out through, I don't know, or someone comments on my blog, I really want them on my newsletter. That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. What is that, your lead magnet, or like, do you have, it's a lead magnet, or I don't know. What do you have that?
It's a free marketing workbook for marketing your memoir.
But you help them to write the memoir or to market the memoir?
Right now it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. we have the problem. Hallelujah. It might be that for your clients, it's very difficult to identify, because you see what my first reaction is. I'm like, did I misunderstood that? Are you helping the memoir to be written, or are you helping the memoir to be marketed? Because it's a very different audience. If I have because in that case, memoir, if you're helping me to write my memoir, I have not my memoir, I haven't started yet. If you help me to market my memoir, I'm probably a self-published author who has already written the memoir. You see, the audience is very different.
Yeah. I understand that. I tried to target my packages more towards pitching and proposals and that end of everything. And I still get people who reach out to me saying, I don't get very many people reaching out to me, but the people who have reached out to me are saying, I'm looking to have some help writing my book. That's most of the interest I get.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that because you are profiling yourself as the book coach who will help market your memoir, that you have to refuse those people. If you say, I really want to work with that person who writes a memoir, perfect, take it on. It's just to make it very clear for people. Like, again, you saw my reaction of like, I don't know, and I'm willing to help you and to listen to you, but I'm the one who wrote the memoir, wants to write memoir. I'm off to someone else because I don't understand what exactly it is that you're giving me. So
right.
But again, you can absolutely or you can give it as an add-on service. Like you can say, okay, I help writers write their memoir, and as an add-on service, I have the marketing that I can help you with. Or you could say, okay, I mostly focus on marketing memoir, but for a very select group of people, I also help them write their memoir. It is how you present it, and to make sure that when someone gets in contact with you, they're like, okay, Hannah, this. I mean, we want to put you in a box. Everybody wants to be able to put people in a box because it just makes it easier. So it might be worthwhile to have a think about that, of like, how am I profiling myself? Because then it makes also a difference on who you target, where you target them. You know, if you do the marketing, it means that probably you will have to target more advanced association and organizations like writers, because they maybe already have their first draft, or even self-publishing writers. If it's more writing the memoir, then it's the organizations for the neurodiverse. And you can go very, very basic, because the simple fact that neurodiverse can help you already out. So that's where it makes it easier for you as well, and your network. Like I talked about it, how time and energy consuming it can be. This is the perfect way to make sure that it doesn't become energy and time consuming.
Right.
So Hannah, we have a job for you.
After you just said all that, I could see how it was very confusing the way I just presented everything.
No, but don't worry. I mean, I like when we have those conversations, because then we discover what's going on, right? It's very difficult to be in the inside and say, oh, this is what's going on in my business, and I don't understand why I don't have clients. And then suddenly it's like, oh, actually, if I change this and this, and I've seen like with bookers, sometimes the smallest change in the copy, in the way they approach it, in the lead magnet, it can really make a big difference in the business. So I'm pretty sure that once you nail that down, it's going to make a big difference in your business as well.
That's incredibly helpful. Thank you.
No worries. No worries. Anyone else who has a question?
You mentioned Reddit as a great place to find romance authors. I had a look on there yesterday, and a lot of posts were like from 3 years ago, and I can't seem to figure out where all the people are, or where's the best place to be to find them.
Reddit, because Reddit functions very different than Facebook. So on Reddit, it's totally normal that they're post of 3 or 4 years old, because it's a post that gets commented all the time, or people like it. So your content, it takes a while of getting used to Reddit. Like you have to find your subreddit and your people and your thing. As I also said in the call, you have to be very careful because Reddit doesn't like people who publish their services too much. But just being helpful and go into the groups that you're like, oh, I could be helpful. Just go try it. But yeah, it's looking, but on Reddit, they say always that every single subreddit exists on Reddit. So it's just also looking on your search bar, like if you really want to have a very, very specific audience, I'm pretty sure you will find one.
Okay.
Does that help? I feel like I'm promoting Reddit, but not giving the real value here. The secrets.
Oh, it's just another one of those social media sites, another one that I've got to figure out my way around.
Social media, you don't it's not an obligation. You can try it if you want to, but it's definitely not an obligation. I had someone on my podcast come on who built her entire business, and she's earning like around 200,000 a month for a year, and she's not on social media. She has nothing on social media. So it's absolutely possible. It's just another way of thinking about your business and how you organize. But don't feel like, I also don't want to tell to you, oh, you have to go on Reddit. I love Reddit, but I don't use it for my work, like because lots of funny things and kid things and whatever. But if you don't want to go on Reddit, don't go on Reddit. I mean, you're already on LinkedIn, so like I think in this day and age, 1 or 2 social media at maximum you can handle. All the rest it becomes very complicated. Or when you go on social media, it's like you have already a big audience, and like social media is just having entrepreneur, and you can hire someone to do it for you, I would say. Well, if there are no other questions, maybe just a little question for next business clinic. I was wondering if someone has a topic that you would like to discuss about. All putting you on the spot, right?
Yeah.
No, I do have one question. This was just my social awkwardness about it.
Don't worry. Hey,
Someone
don't be
recent-
social awkward. I mean, ask your question here.
So
People
someone
pay for
recently
this, man.
connected with me on LinkedIn, but one of those kind of just like friend requests, nothing attached. And this person has thousands of followers and runs a training program where lots of my ideal clients attend. In fact, I've had clients that have come through that program. So I would really like to connect with this person, but I'm kind of like, well, like they're not a client. So just like, and how do I start that conversation in a way that I'm not really sending them an article? They're not like a potential client, or they're really busy and obviously quite a high profile person, but I would like to, they've noticed me somehow and I'd like to capitalize on that.
Yeah, I was going to wonder, so how did that person come to you? Is it like a common
LinkedIn, but I mean, I don't know how they saw me because I'm not that active.
But then you have the perfect excuse of like saying, oh, thank you so much for reaching out. Go on his or her profile. You can very easily say, hey, thank you for reaching out. I've heard a lot about clients that came to your program that spoke very highly of you. I'm very happy that you wanted to reach out and that you connected. Is there maybe a chance that we can have a chat on how we can help each other, or just get to know each other? It depends also on your comfort level. If you're like, okay, let's go for it, I will ask just for a call, or you can just say, yeah, what made you reach out?
Yeah, cool. That's helpful. I end up overthinking these things and then doing nothing.
I was gonna say, don't overthink it, because on LinkedIn, I don't know if you know, but after 5 connection requests, you can no longer reach out without the message. So maybe the person wanted to send a message, but was out of their 5 LinkedIn requests or something like this. So you never know what's on the other side. Or maybe the person is just very shy or introvert, and it's up to you to take a bit things in hand. But especially if there's a person that has sent you people through the program, it's definitely worth a while to just reach out.
Yeah, it definitely could. I've had one person find me independent of the program, but they spoke very highly of this program, and part of the program is write a book. So it's a really great connection for me potentially, but we'll see.
Yeah, and don't put yourself too much pressure. Just think, okay, what is the first thing I want out of this first conversation? Is it get on a call, or is it knowing why the person wanted to connect with me? And then afterwards you do, keep it just simple. Don't stress too much. If you want, you can send a message before I can have a look.
Oh, thank you.
But I know it's very stressful. I know that's for science.
I just like to overthink things, Anne. Okay. Yeah.
Don't we all? You know, it's very normal, I think. But yeah. Just keep it simple.
Cool. Thanks.
In the worst case, they say no, or it was a mistake.
Yeah. Just ignore. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or they give you a thumbs up. I hate thumbs ups. In case you haven't realized yet, but I hate thumbs ups.
Cool. Thank you so much.
No worries. If there's no questions anymore, then I will let you go. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming on the call. So the next one is going to be in May. It's not going to be a business clinic in April, but you're all on the newsletter, so you will get that information sent in your email box right away.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.